Well, anyone here live in Oregon or know anyone who lives in Oregon? Because there's an interesting article that I came across today that Oregon petition to ban hunting and fishing is moving closer to the November ballot. Basically, they want to shut down the state for any and all hunting, fishing, animal processing, you name it. It's called Initiative Petition 28, aims to expand animal cruelty to include livestock slaughtering, fishing, and research. So in a time where we are having low numbers of cattle and animal producing and food availability that's at least clean and safe, the state of Oregon is now facing this interesting petition. Last week, petitioners hoping to ban fishing and hunting in Oregon reached a milestone in their attempt to change state law. Initiative 28, let me see if I can find it here for you guys. Oregon Secretary of State Elections Division. Here's the bill proposal, or at least the petition. Names attached to information, and as of right now, it's just more names are being added to it as we speak. So they've met their milestone to get enough signatures on it to at least have it being taken seriously and go on to the ballot in November. It says the office must verify the signatures, and people have until July 2nd to add their names to the list. Activities such as lawful hunting, fishing, wildlife management, scientific or agricultural research, pest control, slaughtering livestock are exempt from animal cruelty laws. The reason we are seeking to prohibit these activities is not to be punitive towards anyone currently involved with injuring, killing, or breeding of animals, but rather to be protective of the needs of the animals to codify their right to life and bodily autonomy in law. The petition campaign website reads, criminalizing those practices would have significant repercussions on key industries such as Oregon's beef industry, which brought in $127 million worth of exports in 2023. The fishing industry, which generated $517 million in household income and supported 10,300 jobs in 2025. And for research at public universities that bring in billions across the state. So these are just the beginning of the impacts that would be felt in the state. And here's some information of people posting on X. Banning hunting, fishing, and basic animal husbandry would kill thousands of jobs and threaten our food supply at a time when we can least afford it, says Drazen in a post on X. So there's more information right here that you can find online. And just something to throw out there, the Greater Idaho Initiative. Speaking of initiatives and signing lists and things to be aware of, this one's looking more and more like sense if you're out in that area. And again, we just talked about U.S. cattle inventory being the smallest in 73 years. This is over here on Market Intel. Again, you talk about boots on the ground with the cattle industry. It's actually worse than this. They're saying, some people are saying back to 1945, World War II. Here's the chart. Here's the information. All the more reason to stock up your freezers, even doing some canning this year. If you have a freeze dryer, God bless you, keep that thing running. Support your local farmers, ranchers, and so on. But again, the information's right here. It's not hard to find. Over here in The Guardian, the worst time for wheat. U.S. farmers face losses to extreme heat and drought. There are articles talking about the shortage of wheat going back to 1919, like some of the lowest numbers. There's a sad story of a farmer who talked about the drought in Kansas. So it was like drought, and then they got a lot of rain, but then they got a lot of hail, which damaged their crops. So that's just one story. I'm pretty sure there's more of it like that out there. So again, make a plan, get creative, figure out what your needs are, and just hit it every week. Have one goal. Wheat berries, that lasts way longer, so much longer than flour that's already ground. Get a hand crate grinder for flour. If you can get an electric one, get two. Get a backup. Get electric and then a backup one. Be creative, whatever your needs are. More things that are going on here on the screen. So you got things that are going on in Congress, which I never could have imagined happening. But here's the article right here. Highlights information. If this thing is enacted, the provision will mark a significant change in one of the world's closest military relationships. Section 224 would require the U.S. Defense Secretary to appoint executive agent, a single official to coordinate military cooperation between these two countries. But then again, someone brought this information up in a comment in a thread. The Glenn Amendment. Something worth looking up because I wasn't aware of it until I was reading some of these articles and then listening to both sides going back and forth, trying to get a better perspective on it. The Glenn Amendment is a powerful United States non-proliferation law designed to deter countries from developing or acquiring nuclear weapons. So if this were to technically go through, it would be illegal. So just something to think about, be aware of. I'm still learning about this, reading into the bill itself. So all this information being said, if you're in the Oregon area, let me know what you're hearing on the ground, if there's support or more people pushing back against this petition. And I'd love to know what you guys are doing when it comes to planning ahead. Again, going back to the junkyard fires, are you guys getting extra parts and supplies? This initiative, are you putting back more food, canning, freezing, do whatever it is that you can, again, on top of everything else that's going on with inflation. So be safe and well. Stay informed. I'll talk to you all again later.